Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here for this meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Carmel. Before we get started with the meeting, we're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. And would everybody please rise? And Councilman Schneider, would you lead us this evening?
Be my honor. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And if we please remain standing for a moment of silence and just observe a moment of silence for mourning for the passing of a lot of innocent civilians between Beirut terrorist attacks and as well the Paris terrorist attacks that took place over the last week. And just reflect upon the sacrifices that our men and women make, not only defending us domestically here in law enforcement and as first responders, but as well for our military that serve both domestically as well as overseas. And please keep them in your thoughts and prayers, as well as their families and friends that support them back home. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Yes, you got it. I guess you got it.
Huh?
Yes, you got it.
Is Ann prepared?
And yeah.
Okay, once again, good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here in attendance at our meeting. This is a voting meeting this evening, and the date is Wednesday, November 18th, 2015. And thank you all at home for watching our meeting this evening. For the record, all town board members are present with us this evening, as is our town clerk, Ann Spofford. All the way down to my right and all the way down to my left is Greg Fulchetti, our town attorney. And in the audience, we have Mary Ann Maxwell, our town comptroller, and our highway superintendent, Mike Simone, is here with us this evening as well. So let's get started. Once again, it's a voting meeting, and the first item on the agenda is to accept town board minutes of September 30th, October 7th, and October 21st of 2015. I need a motion to accept.
So moved.
Okay, so moved by Councilman Lombardi, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, next item on the agenda is number 2. It's a resolution making an appointment to the Town of Carmel Ethics Board. And Councilman Schneider, would you read this, please?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby appoints Nicolo Scafidi to the Town of Carmel Ethics Board, commencing immediately. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lombardi. Roll call vote.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Smith?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. And Mr. Scafidi is here with us this evening in the audience, and he's here with his family as well. Thank you for being here to support your dad, and his wife is here. Congratulations, Mr. Scafidi. Thank you so much for volunteering and serving on the Ethics Board for the Town of Carmel. And, we appreciate your service and your volunteerism to the community, because it is an unpaid position, so you're volunteering, thank you. And, yeah. And the one good thing is you don't have a lot of work, which is good. But if in fact there is an ethics complaint, you and the Ethics Committee would be hearing that as well. So we have to swear you in this evening. Ann, our town clerk, Ann Spofford, if you can go up to the podium, and Ann will do the honors of swearing you in.
Would you like a wife to hold the Bible for you?
Sure.
And you can put your left hand on it and raise your right hand. And then repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Nicola Scafidi,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will be faithful discharging the duties
of Ethics Board member
of Ethics Board member
in and for the Town of Carmel
in and for the Town of Carmel
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Congratulations. Thanks for serving. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Suzanne, thank you. Thank you, Frank.
Thanks, Nick. Okay. All right, next item on the agenda, number 3, is a resolution amending and adopting the preliminary budget as annual budget for fiscal year ending 2016 for the town of Carmel. Councilman Lombardi, would you read this resolution?
Whereas the town board has met at the place and time specified in the notice of public hearing on the preliminary budget and heard all persons desiring to be heard thereon. And whereas following the public hearing, the town board met with Town Controller Mary Ann Maxwell and reviewed the preliminary amended budget as described as attached hereto scheduled to arrive at a final budget for fiscal year 2016. Now therefore be it resolved that the final budget as incorporated herein and made part hereof is hereby adopted as the annual budget of the town of Carmel for fiscal year 2016, beginning January 1, 2016, and that such budgets as so adopted be entered in detail in the minutes of this town board. And be it further resolved, the town of Carmel Town Clerk Ann Spofford shall prepare and certified in duplicate copies of said annual budget as adopted by the town board, together with the assessment rolls for benefit improvement adopted pursuant to Section 202A, Subdivision 2 of the town law, and deliver one copy thereof to the town supervisor, Kenneth Schmidt, to be presented by him to the Putnam County Legislature. I offer this resolution as read.
Okay, offered by Councilman Lombardi,
Second.
seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Schneider.
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci.
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough.
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Supervisor Schmidt.
Yes, motion carried. And I just want to highlight some of the funding that was allocated in the 2016 budget that was not included in the tentative budget, but is included in the preliminary and the final, that some things that we're going to be doing in 2016 where we decided that it was a good time to allocate some funding for. The town board is going to be hiring a grant writer. We have allocated $25,000 in the 2016 budget to assist the town of Carmel. This is not a full-time position. It's a position where they're on an as-needed basis. We believe that there's a lot of grants, funding that's available out there, either through the state or federal government, that with the assistance of a grant writer, a professional grant writer, we're going to be able to secure some of those fundings that are out there and available to communities like the town of Carmel. This is the first time that we've gone this route. We think it's smart, it's good planning, it's good for the future, and we believe that we're going to tap into resources out there that we probably haven't thus far. So having a grant writer on board to assist the town will be a big benefit to the town, we believe. Building cleaning services, we are going to be outsourcing the building cleaning services here for the town hall. We currently have a building maintenance supervisor who is here on a day-to-day basis to do the maintenance work and things like that, painting and repairs of the building as needed. But we do not have a full-time cleaner for the building. So we're going to go out, we're going to RFP the cleaning for this building and the PD to have a company, an outside property maintenance company or building maintenance company, if you will, cleaning the town hall and the PD. We believe it will be a lot cheaper, from a cost perspective, bringing in a cleaning company as opposed to hiring a full-time staff member with benefits and legacy costs. You know, these days, the cost of benefits are probably double of what the salary would have been for the full-time cleaner. So we believe there's going to be a savings to the town by outsourcing. So there's money allocated in the budget for that of $25,000. And there's $9,000 that we're going to include in that. There's a cleaning service that is currently cleaning the PD. So we're going to actually outsource the entire building. We're going to get bids for the entire building. So with the 25 that has been budgeted over the year, the 9,000, I'm sorry, that has been budgeted over the years for the PD, and the 25 that we included in our budget for 2016. So there will be an aggregate amount of about $35,000 that we'll have for cleaning services for the town. The Othmer House up the street here, some of you may be familiar with it. It's an old yellow building that sits just up the street from the town hall on McAlpin Avenue. The building is in desperate need of repair. The condition of it is extremely poor, and it is no longer habitable. So there's not a lot that we can do with the building going forward, and the cost of renovating it and doing the upgrades and improvements to the HVA system and other improvements that needed to be done to that building we felt that it would be more effective and efficient for the town if we were to demo that building. So our plan is, there's money budgeted to take that building down and to create a parking lot out of the footprint of the building, which will, the Carmel Highway Department is currently, their staff uses the parking lot for highway staff, but once the building is taken down and the parking lot is created there, it will allow for overflow parking for the town hall here on court nights, days when court's in session, and when the town hall staff is here and other customers are coming to the town hall, they'll have a place to park now. Currently, the only place they can park is out on McAlpin Avenue, so we're going to create additional parking for the residents and other users of the town hall by taking that building down. Special park equipment, we're going to be purchasing a new field groomer for our Parks and Recreation Department at a cost of $15,000 that was allocated in the budget. Safety netting for foul balls up at McDonough Park. Currently, the 60-foot baseball field up at McDonough Park, it only has a 4-foot chain link fence on both sides of the field, and what's happening is foul balls are being hit over the fence, and we've had some cars struck by foul balls, breaking some windshields in some cases and doing some body damages in others. So what's been happening is users of McDonough Park haven't been parking their cars in that area of the parking lot, which has created an issue with parking at the lower end of McDonough Park. So we're going to be installing 20-foot safety netting fencing on both sides of the 60-foot field, where the current 4-foot chain link fence is. We're just adding 20 feet of netting on top of that to keep the foul balls in the field and not going out into the parking lot. So we're going to allow for maximum use of the parking areas over at McDonough Park by doing that. And we budgeted $25,000 for that. We're also going to be increasing the parking area at the lower exit. If you're familiar with the McDonough Park, where you exit McDonough Park, currently on only one side of the park allows for parking on one side of the exit. So we're going to excavate and pave the opposite end, the other side of that exit area, to allow for parking for another 30 or 35 cars down at that lower end. McDonough Park is heavily used. There's baseball and soccer that's played there, and we also have our roller skate park there as well for rollerblades. So it's used a lot. We need the additional parking, so we allocated funding for that. The planning, we're going to be allocating funding for a planning board architect consultant. So we're going to have an architect consultant that's going to be assisting the planning board on site plan applications and applications before them that require professional assistance from an architect. Currently, we do not have one assisting the planning board, but we feel the time has come where it's necessary for a professional architect to assist in the planning phases of site plan applications. So that's going to be a big help, assisting the planning board members, and it will also assist our professional consultants, our engineer, our planner, and our building inspector will be using the services of this planning board architect consultant, and we've allocated $25,000 in funding for that individual. Again, it's not a full-time position, it's an as-needed basis, and this individual will also be assisting the town in crafting new laws for our zoning and code, our zoning code as well, so with signage and things like that. So we're going to have assistance from a professional consultant when we do the planning for that and make changes to our zoning code. We're going to be adding 2 new police officers, 2 full-time police officers to the Town of Carmel Police Department for 2016, so that will be increasing the staff of patrolmen on the PD. We've had 5 or 6 officers vacancies for some time now, and the Chief of Police, Mike Kazari, had requested consideration for adding staff to the PD, and we've agreed to that, and they will be starting the academy in January of 2016. The academy is 6 months long, and then they have a 2-month field training period, so they will be undergoing training for the first 6 or 8 months of the year, and then they'll be put out into the rotation in a squad patrolling Town of Carmel. I hope I covered everything. Guys, is there anything that you think I may have left out? I apologize if I have. Did you mention anything? Library, Jimmy?
You want you can mention library.
Sure. Okay. All right. Reed Library, as everyone knows, Reed Library became a taxing authority district a couple of years ago. So they actually have an annual budget vote that affects those who are in the boundaries or the jurisdiction of the Reed Memorial Library, which is up in the hamlet of Carmel. We have allocated for them, in the past, we were funding their entire operating budget until they became a taxing authority district. And I want to thank Councilman John Lupinacci. He was very much instrumental and involved during that process where they became a taxing authority district. So in the past, the total town taxpayers were funding the cost of the Reed Library. There was a $200,000 allocation over the years for funding, but that's changed now. It's only the users in the Reed Memorial Library District, taxing district, that pay for the cost of the Reed Memorial Library. But we are still assisting them with some finances, some funding for repairs to the building and other upgrades and improvements that they may need to make to the library. The Library Board of Trustees has requested that we consider funding in the amount of $25,000 to assist them further with any additional costs that they may incur, and also going out to when they vote on the budget and for the trustees, there's an election that actually takes place, and there's a cost to the Putnam County Board of Elections to set all of that up, and that costs money. So this $25,000 is going to assist them with that as well. So we felt that it was appropriate because we do fund MAPAC Library $50,000 a year for other incidental costs and things that they may need above and beyond what their budget allocation is for. So we're going to be funding Mahopac Library. We're going to continue to do that for the $50,000, and I think it's only right and just and appropriate that Reed Memorial Library gets funding also to assist them with other costs that aren't covered in their annual budget vote. The police department overtime line was, the original amount was $590,000 to cover overtime costs within the PD. But with the addition of the 2 new patrolmen that will be starting in January, although they will not be servicing the town, so to speak, because they'll be in training, we've reduced the tentative overtime line from $590,000 to $480,000. So there was a $110,000 reduction in police overtime in 2016.
And due to the help from the Sheriff's Department.
And due to, right, thank you, John, and due to assistance that we're going to be receiving, police, sheriff services that we will be receiving in 2016 from the Putnam County Sheriff's Department. We've been meeting with the sheriff. We've had discussions with the sheriff and the undersheriff with respect to additional services that the town of Carmel is requesting from the Sheriff's Department. And, I could tell you, John, if it's okay, all indications are, at this point, correct me if I'm wrong, that the sheriff has indicated that he will provide those services.
Correct.
To the town of Carmel. So there's additional services. They'll be outlined at a later date, but there are services that we will be getting that we're currently not getting from the Putnam County Sheriff's Department here in the town of Carmel. Anything you want to add to that?
No.
Did I cover that?
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Guys, did I hit everything?
I think you did well.
I think so.
Because if I didn't, then speak up.
Well, it's too late. We already adopted it.
Yeah. So the tax rate increase for 2016, with all those changes, is 2.2%. That's the tax rate increase. So the tax levy increase, we're still under what the so-called 2% tax cap. We're under that. So this is the tax. I don't want people to be confused, because sometimes there's confusion about what the tax rate increase is and what the tax levy increase is. They're two different things. The tax rate increase is the actual increase in spending from year to year. I have the comptroller here, so if I'm not correct, Mary Ann, just say so. So that's the actual funding that we go out to the taxpayers for, correct, is the tax rate increase. The tax levy.
The levy is the actual funding. The tax rate is when you take the assessed value.
Year over year.
You get the tax rate increase.
Tax rate increase.
Divided by the tax rate.
Right. Thank you, Mary Ann. I knew it was backwards. I'm sorry. All right. Yes, John.
You want to just, you mentioned it last week, but
Oh, yeah. Yes, okay, the reduction?
yeah, you mentioned it last week.
Yeah, I did mention it last week.
Just to confirm it.
Yes, thank you. For Carmel Fire Protection District Number 2, which is the Mahopac Volunteer Fire Department, their original 2016 contract request for their budget, the original request was $1.75 million. 1.75 million is what they requested for 2016 as their contract budgeted amount. The town board has, in discussions, has reduced that amount from 1.75 million to 1.2 million. So, the town board felt that it was appropriate. They felt that based on some review of financials that were available to the town board from previous years, we felt that the 1.2 million would cover their operating costs, their annual operating costs. So we felt this was necessary. We felt that it was appropriate under the circumstances, and I believe everybody in this room understands by now what the circumstances are and what has occurred, sadly, and very unfortunate, what has occurred with the fiscally with the Mahopac Fire Department. And this is not to take away from the excellent services that the members of the Mahopac Fire Department provide to the Fire Protection District Number 2 residents and business owners. They do an exceptional job. And that we want them to continue to provide those services, and I think they will. And the community appreciates what they do, and we thank the members of the Mahopac Fire Department for everything they do. They're volunteers. We can't forget that for the town of Carmel, in this case, Mahopac. So I hope that, when the investigation has been completed and the Office of the State Comptroller has completed their audit and their review of the finances and what has occurred, I hope that the Mahopac Fire Department will be able to recover some of their losses that occurred due to an alleged theft of funds from the fire department. So I really don't want to speak too much more about it, but there is a forensic audit that is ongoing, and at the completion of that, I think we will all probably be aware of the amounts of money that were stolen or extorted from the Mahopac Fire Department. So I'm going to just keep it at that for the time being. Anybody else want to add anything?
The only thing is, there's other gentlemen from other fire districts. The budget was passed
Yeah.
with what they asked for.
Yes,
So
yes.
just so they know that.
And I'm sorry, we have representatives of Mahopac Falls Fire Department here, and, I just want to let you know that your requested amount was maintained in the budget. There was no reductions in funding for the Mahopac Falls Fire Department or the Carmel Fire Department. And, I want to publicly thank you gentlemen for, and the members of the Mahopac Falls Fire Department for everything you do as well for the residents of the town of Carmel. In this case, the Mahopac Falls Fire Protection District. Thank you so much for that. And thank Carmel, members of the Carmel Fire Department as well for the excellent services, fire and EMS services that you provide to the town of Carmel. What's occurred in Mahopac Fire Department, once again, is unfortunate and very sad that it happened, but it should not be a reflection on all the overall volunteers that provide that service to the town of Carmel in general. Don't paint everybody because one gentleman, was involved in this, it shouldn't be taken out on everyone. Everyone else, as far as I'm concerned, does an excellent job, and they'll continue to provide that service and that excellent job for the town of Carmel. So thank you again for that. All right, so anything else? Did I miss anything else?
We're good.
I hope I didn't. Did Mary Ann, did I cover everything? Okay, all right. So the budget has been adopted, formally adopted for 2016, and if there's anyone here that would like to ask specific questions related to the adopted budget at this time, I'm going to allow you to come up and ask those questions at this time, because we have the comptroller here who might be able, if I can't or the board can't, I'm going to defer to Mary Ann. Anyone would like to come up? Yes, Mike.
On the 2.2 increase, in the Mahopac Fire District, shouldn't there be a slight decrease?
Yes, yes. In the Mahopac Fire Protection District, there will be a slight decrease in their special district, fire protection district taxes for next year.
Right, but I'm saying the amount taken out of just that district should bring that 2.2 down to 0 or maybe a little under.
The
One's
two-
a district, one's general.
I think proportionately, my thought is just on rough numbers, proportionally, it wouldn't bring it down to 0, but yes, in theory,
Well,
theirs
it'll
will be
bring it-
lower than a 2.2, absolutely.
Yeah,
And
yes.
there may be some that are higher than the 2.2, but that's all based on the specific districts that you would be paying for, your special districts.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's not townwide, I'm
Not
in the
townwide.
Falls District, so I'm not gonna see a net neutral.
Correct.
But someone living in the Mahopac area, their taxes went up 2.25, but with this discount, with this reduction in, the fire district, it could be net neutral to those residents just in the Mahopac district.
And it'll be
Falls
listed out
and
on the
Mount
tax
Carmel.
bills for the special districts as
Fire
well. so
district, yeah.
You'll be able to see specifically what you're paying for each one of the districts.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Is there anyone else on the budget? Okay, being none, thank you. Those who are here for the budget, if you'd like to stay, fine, and join us for the rest of the meeting. If not, thank you for being here. Yeah. Okay. Okay, next item on the agenda, number 4, is a resolution authorizing Chief of Police to proceed with the purchase of a new patrol vehicle. And Councilman Lupinacci, would you read that?
Resolved that the Town Board of Town of Carmel hereby authorizes Chief of Police Michael Kazari to proceed to purchase one new 2015/16 Dodge Police Package Charger from Robert Green Truck Division, Rock Hill, New York, at a cost not to exceed $28,367.52 under the Oneida County Number 1177 statewide piggyback bid, and be it further resolved that the town supervisor is authorized to sign all necessary documents to purchase said vehicle from Robert Green Truck Division in accordance with their contract quotation dated November 6, 2015. Be it further resolved that Town Comptroller Mary Ann Maxwell is hereby authorized to make any and all necessary budget revisions to effect a foresaid purchase transaction, including transfer from any restricted budget lines. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Lombardi. Roll call vote.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 5, is a resolution authorizing and advertise for bids for the purchase of police uniforms for 2016. Susie, would you read this one?
Sure. Resolve that pursuant to the request of Michael Kazari, Town of Carmel Chief of Police, Town Clerk Ann Spotford is hereby authorized to advertise for bids for the purchase of police uniforms for the Town of Carmel Police Department for calendar year 2016. And be it further resolved that the Chief of Police is to furnish detailed specifications for the above to Town Clerk Ann Spotford to be used in conjunction with the town's general bid conditions and specifications. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 6, is a resolution authorizing and advertise for bids for dry cleaning of police uniforms for 2016. Councilman Schneider, would you read this one?
Resolved that pursuant to the request of Michael Kazari, Town of Carmel Chief of Police, Town Clerk Ann Spofford is hereby authorized to advertise for bids for the cleaning of police uniforms for the Town of Carmel Police Department for calendar year 2016. And be it further resolved that the Chief of Police is to furnish detailed specifications for the above, to Town Clerk Ann Spofford to be used in conjunction with the town's general bid conditions and specifications. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lombardi. Roll call vote.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, next resolution, number 7, is a resolution authorizing budget modifications, number 2015-05. Councilman Lupinacci, would you read this one?
Excuse me?
I think it's Frank, I got 8.
What do you have?
I'll read 7 if you want to read 7.
You're up?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Frank. I skipped Frank. Councilman Lombardi, would you read number 7?
Whereas Town Controller Mary Ann Maxwell has reviewed the 2015 year-to-date budget modifications/revisions for the period of September 1, 2015 through October 31st, 2015 with the Town Board, which are detailed and explained on the attached budget revision schedule identified as 2015-5. Now therefore be resolved, the Town Board of Town of Carmel hereby authorizes and ratifies the 2015 year-to-date budget modification revisions for the period of September 1, 2015 through October 31st, 2015, as itemized in Schedule 2015-5, which is attached here to, incorporated herein, and made part hereof. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, resolution number 8. Councilman Lupinacci, would you read this one? It's a resolution authorizing advertising for bids for the improvement of Carmel Sewer District Number 1 collection system.
Resolved that the Town Board of Town of Carmel, acting as Commissioners of Carmel Sewer District Number 1 and pursuant to the request of Town Engineer Richard J. Franzetti, P.E., Town Clerk Ann Spofford is hereby authorized to advertise for bids for improvements to the Carmel Sewer District Number 1 collection system facilities in accordance with the Town Engineer's memorandum dated November 2nd, 2015, and be it further resolved that the Town Engineer is to furnish detailed specifications for the above to Town Clerk Ann Spofford to be used in conjunction with the town's general bid conditions and specifications. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, resolution number 9 is a resolution accepting proposal and authorizing the purchase of hot-in-place asphalt scarification. This is for the Town of Carmel Highway Department. Councilwoman McDonough, would you read this one, number 9?
Sure, resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, upon the recommendation of Town of Carmel Highway Superintendent Michael Simone, hereby authorizes purchase of hot, in-place recycling heater scarification of existing asphalt pavement for the period of December 1st, 2014 through November 30th, 2015, from Highway Rehabilitation Corporation, Brewster, New York, under Putnam County bid number RFB 2714. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 10, is a resolution accepting a proposal and authorizing the purchase and installation of a backstop at Sycamore Park ball fields. Councilman Schneider, would you read it, please?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, upon the recommendation of Town of Carmel Director of Recreation and Parks, James R. Gilchrist, hereby authorizes the purchase and installation of a new backstop unit and facilities for Sycamore Park ball fields from Campanella Fence Centers, Mahopac, New York, at a cost not to exceed $18,650. And be it further resolved that upon presentation of insurance certificates in form acceptable to Town Council, Town Supervisor Kenneth Schmidt is hereby authorized to execute any and all necessary contract documentation to effect acceptance of these proposals upon the terms authorized herein. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Lombardi. Roll call vote.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 11, is an amended resolution establishing an employment anniversary date. Councilman Lombardi, would you read this one?
Resolve the Town Board of Town of Carmel hereby revises the date of hire and/or anniversary date for employee number 2403 from November 20, 2013 to June 29, 2012, for all purposes, including but not limited to credit in the New York State and local retirement system. I offer the resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. Roll call vote.
Councilman Schneider?
Yes.
Councilman Lupinacci?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 12, is same as the one we just voted on. It's amended resolution establishing employment anniversary date. Councilman Lupinacci, would you read this one?
Resolved that the Town Board of Town of Carmel hereby revise the date of hire and/or anniversary date for employee number 1146 for from November 20th, 2013 to August 21st, 2012, for all purposes, including but not limited to credit in the New York State and local retirement system. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lombardi and Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Schneider.
Yes.
Councilman Lubinacci.
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough.
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi.
Aye.
Supervisor Schmidt.
Yes, motion carried. Okay, and Councilwoman McDonough, would you read the 13th and final resolution? It's a resolution scheduling a public hearing to hear objections to assessment rolls for the operation and maintenance of the improvements of the garbage, sewer, and water districts for fiscal year 2016.
Sure. Whereas the Town of Carmel hereby has completed its assessment rolls for the operation and maintenance of the improvements serving Carmel Sewer Districts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and extensions thereto, as well as Carmel Water Districts number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, and 14, and extensions thereto, as well as the Town of Carmel Garbage District of said town for fiscal year 2016. And whereas said assessment rolls have been filed with Ann Spotford, Town Clerk of the Town of Carmel. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby schedules a public hearing at the Town Hall, 60 McAlpin Avenue, Mahopac, New York, 10541, on Wednesday, December 16th, 2015, at 7:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter that evening as possible for the purpose of considering any objections which may be made to said assessment rolls. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci and Lombardi. Roll call vote.
Councilman Schneider.
Yes.
Councilman Lubinacci.
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough.
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi. Supervisor Schmidt.
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, that completes the Town Board voting meeting agenda items for this evening. Is any members of the public want to come up and speak on any of the agenda items that we just covered this evening? Come on up at this time. Randy? Yeah.
Touch base on the fire department, it was mentioned.
Yes.
Gotta come
Yeah,
up.
come on up at this, yep, that's fine.
This is Mahopac, not Falls. I'm not here representing anyone other than myself. My purpose originally was to come here to clarify whose money was stolen, which you did quite well tonight. It was the fire department's money stolen. I've heard comments here, read them in the newspaper, that taxpayers' money was stolen. And you guys didn't really respond to that. And when you remain silent to a comment like that, it gives it credibility. And I don't think that's fair to the fire department. And the same is true with the ownership of the building. Building belongs to the fire department, does it not?
It does.
That's all I want. I want you guys, from the onset of this incident, I haven't heard anybody say, what can we do to help those guys? I've only heard people making derogatory comments or, you know, as you said, and as a gentleman here in the audience said in the very beginning, he used the number 98%. I'd like to change it to 99%. There's one bad guy down there. The rest of those guys, they're like you.
Yeah.
You're one of them. That's all.
You're right, totally correct. Okay, anyone else like to come up at this time? Yes, Mike.
With all due respect to the gentleman that spoke previous, who I admire greatly and have known for a very long time, the money to buy the building and the money to fund and function the fire department comes from where? Does it fall from the sky?
No,
We levy for them, taxpayers.
it's taxpayer funded. The contract is taxpayer funded. The contract for fire protection and EMS services, yes. It's taxpayer, yeah, it's a contract.
Business
that's funded-
contract.
Funded through the levy, through the tax collection process, and it's.
Doesn't fall from the sky, the money.
No, the money is, right, it's taxpayer. Yeah, but not, just, all right,
Does not the fire department provide a service in return for that money? Do we now own AAA Garbage Company? Is that yours too? When you turn that money over to them and they give you a service, I haven't seen a reduction in their service even through this turmoil. And I respect Michael 100%. But those guys earn whatever you gave them. And if you gave them too much, that's on you.
Okay, I will respond to that. I will just respond. We got financials that said one thing, and what's turning out to be, those financials could be allegedly incorrect. So if I look at a set of financials and I don't do an audit, but I'm looking at a certified financial statement, I mean, I have to quit my day job and I have to go down there and audit it myself. I'm looking at documents that are given one set, and they came in and they sat with us. It is not on us. It's on the 5 commissioners, and it's on the treasurer to do due diligence for the officers down there that do a wonderful service and represent the taxpayers, because they are doing a service to the taxpayers. So it's not on us, because I based everything on a certified financial statement signed by an accountant. And we did have questions, and quite frankly, and I've said it in previous past budgets, this is the only budget right now since my term that I just said yes to. First one I said no to, and the other ones I've been reluctant. I've been reluctant because I'd like line item vetoes, that if I can go through this budget and say yes to this budget, yes to this department, no to this department. But I can't do that. So this was the first one and only one that I've ever just said blankly yes to. But do not come up, and the public and other public officials have said that we're to blame here. You got 5 commissioners that review what that treasurer does, and you have an outside agency review what that treasurer does, and then we rely on that. I don't go and audit AAA. I don't go and audit B&J Plumbing. I don't go and audit Severn Trent. Those information comes to us, and they provide us. I have to, on good faith, think that they're correct, especially when an outside agency, on his representation, being a CPA, signed off on those certifications and financials.
You know, let me, can I say one other thing? And I want to just, I take a little umbrage to that comment. If we gave someone too much money, does that require someone to steal it? So if we, quote unquote, overfund, that means somebody should take it because they don't need it. We should all choose, let me just say, we should all choose our words carefully. I don't know anything more than anybody else in the public does. We're not part of the investigation, but John is 100% correct. Those public officials or anyone who doesn't really understand this town board, we don't have oversight of the department. It's a contract, and John explained it so much better than I will, so I'll just leave it at that. But think about what you said before you say it. Think about what you said before.
Are you sure they're going to sign a contract with you this year?
Is that
a threat? Was that?
I hope.
Is that a rumor that's around town?
Leave it alone.
Yeah. We should probably suspend this. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Randy, the only comment that I'm going to make is, you're here. You're a Mahopac Falls fireman. You're here I know, but you're here on behalf of the Mahopac Fire Department. So you're here speaking you're here as a taxpayer.
That's correct.
All right, but it is. Yeah, I know, but it is taxpayer money that funds the contracts for the fire departments. Yours included comes from the taxpayers. So it was taxpayer money that was stolen.
And they're all taxpayers.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
In fact, the majority of the commissioners, I believe, aren't taxpayers in this district. And when I specifically asked the question on why Mahopac Fire Department is not a fire district, since I have a very, I would say, pretty diverse background in fire districts and the administration.
The members of that fire department are not taxpayers in this town.
No. The members of that commissioners board the majority of those members are not residents of this town. And when specifically asked why they do not turn over to become a fire district, so that the public can actually look at books, can be at meetings, can vote on bonds for buildings and equipment, why is it not established that way? The only answer I was given, after a blank stare by a lot of people, was because if we were a fire district, I could not be a commissioner because I do not live in this town. That was the only answer I got, at which point I followed up with another follow-up of, can I please have your financials so that we can review them again while you're requesting hundreds of thousands of dollars from us for equipment that you apparently don't have reserves for. We can go on, but I think it's better outside of this public forum. I will end on a comment that just a couple weeks ago I was over at the fire department, and I was there through the elementary school as nothing more than a chaperone for my kindergartner school. The volunteers who were out there were doing an exceptional job. The line officers who I talked with while we were out there were doing a great job, and everyone, they said the exact same thing. Gentlemen, all we do is we keep our mouths shut and we continue to provide the service that we provided. Let the dust settle. Let the higher echelon deal with it. We're volunteers and we provide a service to this community. And that's the beauty of a volunteer fire department, whether it's structured as a fire department or it's structured as a fire district. You're absolutely correct. As a fire department, that fire department owns that house and all the equipment in there. As a fire district, the taxpayers, you won't be able to hold that argument, the taxpayers own that same building and that same equipment. It is my intention to do everything that I possibly can to get 3 fire districts in this town so that the public will have a say. Presently, we have 1 fire district, which is in the hamlet of Carmel. The issue with that fire district is that their boundaries don't encompass the entire fire department. We have to evaluate the whole situation. We have to work with the state comptroller on this. In the end, the volunteers, whether it's structured as a fire department or a fire district, my thought, and from the guys I talk to, are the ones who go into the fires, the ones who respond on those EMT calls, they don't care who the commissioner is, because in reality, the commissioners of your fire district are going to be the guys who are involved. Because the people who are going to come out and vote are going to be the families of the men and women who are members of that fire district. It's the way that it works. There may be two years where there's a little bit of a public outcry, but for 5 years that I was a fire commissioner, we had 1 member of the public, maybe 2 members of the public in the entire time, and we did a multi-million-dollar building renovation. As a fire district, the public has a say, and it's all taxpayer money. As a fire department, the public has no say, and it's all taxpayer money.
I apologize to you guys.
No,
You do your job well.
Not at all, sir, but one more comment. You're actually the first person that I've heard from the fire department who's come out in the public and spoken. And that's one thing that, me, just from being a person who has a business here, who's lived here for 30-plus years, I've heard it from residents. Their biggest concern was, everyone's very upset that a lot of money got stolen. Where's the fire department saying anything? And you know what? In the end, there are a lot of attorneys who were kicking us. If his leg was long enough, he would have kicked me 5 minutes ago. There are a lot of attorneys who are saying, yeah, there's that chain reaction. There's a lot of attorneys who are going to say, mum's the word, and let it all settle. In reality, we're all neighbors, we're all friends. We're a small town. Even though we're a small town of 30-plus thousand residents, we're a small town. That's how it was when I was born. That's how it was when I was raised. That's how it is when I came home from the Marines and the NYPD. We're still a small town, and unfortunately, there's a bad seed. Every unit has its bad seeds. We're going to get through it, and it's very important, like you said. And I stood on my soapbox the week I came back, which I believe would have been the 3rd week in November. I'm sorry, 2nd week in November when this all changed. And I sat here for 5 minutes talking about how we have to appreciate our volunteers, because it really is our volunteers. They're not going to care if it's a fire district or a fire department. They got their fire trucks, they got their apparatus, and they have their equipment. In the end, we want to make sure that our first responders are equipped properly so that there's never a concern of safety. When we looked at this budget, with the numbers that we were given, with the information that we have, no speculation, we were able to cut that budget. And we know that in our heart of hearts, we could look in the mirror without thinking for 1 second that the safety of any of those members is jeopardized. I've been a first responder. I've gone into live fires. You're a first responder. You've done the same. There's nothing more paramount in my eyes than the safety of our first responders. It's something that we wouldn't jeopardize, and I don't think anyone on this board would ever do that. But we are working together, and I believe that it's going to take a cumulative effort, and it's not something that could just be done by a few suits sitting behind a dais and a dress. No offense, Susie. Yeah. It's going to need a lot of cooperation, and that's really going to have to come from those volunteers. They're they're the lifeline of our first responder network here in the community. They're what I would refer to as my grunts who are in the front lines in the Marines. They're the ones who are going to be able to help us through this entire thing because they're still the ones who are as pure at heart for why they got involved in it. Nothing more than either I was helped out and I want to return the favor and pay it forward, or I want to go and help out my neighbor who I know, whatever the story may be. I think everybody gets involved in that service for the exact right reasons, and I think that those reasons are going to be the reason that in 100 more years, we're still celebrating Mahopac Fire Department, Mahopac Falls Fire Department, and the Carmel Fire Department. It may be structured, and my hopes are, under 3 districts, but they're still going to have their entities, they're still going to have their leadership, and they're still going to have their volunteers. And I believe they'll still have the support of the elected officials as well as the members of the community, which is really what it comes down to. We're all in it together. We're all family here.
Very well said.
Yeah, thanks, Jonathan. Yeah.
I'm sorry if I went on too long.
Yeah, no, that's
Y-
fine.
Your Honor.
Never mind. No. You didn't feel him kicking you down
I could feel it searing
No.
in here.
there? No, I just want to end this by saying, the only thing I ask is let's stop the rhetoric. Let's stop the destructive comments that are being made out there, because I'm hearing them. Don't blame this town board. It was one individual that did this, that created this in this community, one guy. And you know what? Don't play the blame game, all right? Don't point your finger at us, all right? Let's make the best of a bad situation. Let's have constructive discussions and try to fix this going forward, all right? And I think we all need to work together to do that. But don't point the finger, ladies and gentlemen. Don't say that, oh, the town board did this. Now the town board cut our funding. Well, you know what? The town board did the right thing, right? Based on the circumstances and based on what has occurred and the information, the little information that we've been provided with and the financials we reviewed, what we were able to review, the right decision was made. Going forward, we'll have to have further discussions, but let's let the investigation work itself out. Let's let the state comptroller's office finish their forensic audit and the state police to conclude their investigation, and then we'll all have some further answers. But right now, as far as the amounts, we're all speculating, because we don't know, and we haven't been given a definitive dollar amount, and I'm not sure anyone knows at this point. Yes.
The last thing is,
I'm
the
sorry.
little financials that they've given us. For the last 3 years, we keep going back saying, give us more, because we want more information. And we've had them in to talk and review and talk to the accountant, trying to get more information and get more. So we're trying to do our due diligence. It's not as easy.
No, it's not, but we'll get through it. We will. All right, so that's enough said about the Mahopac Fire Department. Thank you, Mahopac Falls, for being here.
You're thrilled up here.
Yeah, but we're
This is the
No,
beauty
it's-
of democracy.
listen.
This is why our men and women are overseas fighting, is so that we can have this dialogue and you don't have to have fear of what's going to happen when you walk out the door. It's the whole reason that I think that we love this country so much, is you can come up here in a public forum and basically say, you guys, I believe that you guys are wrong for what you've done.
Yeah,
And we can
which
come
one you
back
want?
and say why we believe you
We
may
tell
be.
you to stop talking
Yeah, I'm going to go. I'll see you guys.
Yeah. You're,
Hold on.
without fear, though.
Can I go to a lighter note?
yeah, Randy, come anytime. We enjoyed having you here. I mean that, thanks. You should come here more often. I tried to get you up here one time, remember that? All right, enough said with that. Is there anybody here for the open forum, new business portion of the meeting? I don't think so. No, we pretty much just covered that. All right, there's some announcements that we do have to make. So Jonathan, let's start down at your end with the top dog.
On a nice note.
We haven't heard from you enough, so go ahead, start it.
Yeah.
Start it off.
I would like to say, I'll keep it quick, but I got a brand-new flyer, and it's ending very, very soon. You have less than 12 days to get your top dog submitted. Right now, entries are flying in, and with Thanksgiving right around the corner, please get them in. You can go to carmelny.org. The entries are going to be accepted through November 30th. And there's going to be top dog prize, and then there's the first deputy dog, second deputy dog, and your votes are going to be accepted between December 6th and 16th?
Yes.
Get your votes in, carmelny.org, submit your dogs, and if they're not licensed, get them licensed and then submit them. Most important.
You're not accepting. Yeah,
I'll tell him.
do this one.
Do both.
All right, Frank, you're up. Don't you have a,
Yeah, but no, I don't have an announcement, I have a thank you.
all right. Susie?
Sure. Just an update with the Breakfast with Santa that's going to be at Sycamore Park on December 13th. It is full, which is a great thing. So wonderful for the people who got in to go see Santa. The second announcement is the Greater Mahopac Carmel Chamber of Commerce is having Holiday in the Park on Saturday, November 28th at the Mahopac Chamber Park. There's complimentary hot chocolate and complimentary photo with Santa by Aleska Photos. The festivities begin at 4 o'clock. Santa arrives on the fire truck at 5:30, and the tree and the menorah lighting is at 6 o'clock.
Okay, is that Susie? Yep. Okay, John?
I will start this off as 'tis the season, it's feast or famine, and right now it's feast, because on the same day, same time, I have another event, a New England Christmas celebration at Union Valley Cemetery Chapel at 743 Union Valley Road, Mahopac, New York, Saturday, November 28th, 2015, 4 p.m. Welcome the holiday season by singing traditional Christmas carols, accompanied by the Westchester Putnam Youth Symphony String Quartet. Holiday refreshments will be served. In case of inclement weather, please listen to HUD 100.7. The snow day will be the next day on Sunday, November 29th at 4 p.m. For more information, please contact Wendy at Worthington Labradors, that's one word altogether, Worthington Labradors 03@gmail.com.
Okay, thanks, John. All right, got that. Next week's Town Board work session will be held on Tuesday, November 24th, 2015, at 7 p.m. Carmel Town Hall will be closed on Thursday and Friday, November 26th and 27th. Offices will reopen on Monday, November 30th, 2015, at 8:30 a.m. So once again, next week's Town Board work session has been rescheduled to be held on Tuesday rather than Wednesday, and November 24th at 7 p.m. Carmel Town Hall is closed for Thanksgiving on Thursday, and we're also closed on Friday. We'll reopen on Monday the 30th.
And just touching with Thanksgiving, as you know, we were holding in conjunction with the Mahopac Middle School, a Thanksgiving food drive, which concluded this past week. I just wanted to make some thank yous. Each year, there's different organizations that come and ask me if they can help out, and I try to spread it out to different organizations, different years, so not to put the burden on any particular groups. And in fact, just so happened that the person who helped organize this with a bunch of businessmen to get turkeys for me for the last 3 or 4 years called me and said, if you still need my help, we are here for you. So I want to thank him. He knows who he is. But there were several groups that helped out, and I wanted just to single out a few. I had spoken to the president of the Carmel Police Department, PBA, and we spoke, and they gave us some money last year, and I asked them again for a donation this year, and he said, Frank, we're going to have our meeting, and once we have our meeting, I'll let you know what we decide, what we can give, but we're definitely going to give something. I said, great, thank you. He called me afterwards and said, after their meeting, and they actually gave a contribution of $500. So I want to thank the PBA. Despite the fact that we have, contractual issues with them, that's just business. But when they're called upon to help out this community, they respond very well. So I want to thank the PBA men and women for their generous contribution of $500. The firm of Jackson Lewis also made a large contribution, as well as the Italian American Club. Stu Leonard's in Yonkers donated 10 turkeys. Some relatives of mine, Doctors Lombardi, donated turkeys, 5 turkeys to the drive as well, including all those town employees and town residents who came and helped fill the box here yesterday. And I want to thank Ann Pascarella for donating her own time to going shopping with me to pick up 45 turkeys and $900 worth of groceries that we picked up yesterday. So thank you, Ann, for using your own time for that. We dropped off enough supplies for 50 baskets of food to be donated to 50 needy families that are in town in our own community here. We dropped off supplies at the St. John's Food Pantry. They told me what they needed. I called St. James as well. However, they were having a large food drive themselves, so they said this time we don't need anything. So I just want to thank everyone for helping out. You know, yeah, we have problems, you know, just like every other community, but we have people that are in need, Kenny, and when there are people in need in this community, there's no question that they always step up. So I just want to thank everybody for that. And again, I mean, without the PBA, we would have, you know, wouldn't have been able to provide what we provided this year. When we went to the middle school yesterday to drop off the items, the staff there was just blown away by the contributions of everybody and what we did. So thank you. Yeah, I mean, Lynn Mongan was instrumental, like she's kind of been working with me over the past 7 years to get this done. So I want to thank her and Principal DeGrande for looking out for those people who are less fortunate, and everybody should have a Thanksgiving dinner. All right?
Okay, great. Now, Frank, thanks for all your involvement in that year after year. I know it's something that you're very passionate about and very caring, and you put a lot of work and support for that group. So thank you so much for that, Frank. All right, is there anyone else that has any other announcements, or are we done? I think we're done, right? Okay. All right, we do not have executive session tonight, so we're going to close the meeting right from here. And next time we meet is next Tuesday, November 24th at 7 p.m. for a town board work session. I need a motion to close the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
So moved by Councilman Lombardi, seconded by Councilman Lupinacci. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good night, everyone. Be well. We'll see you next time.